On my way to pick up lunch. That's right. Doing my seatbelt up now. Everything's safe. I'm going to pick up lunch and go home to the kids. Wanted to speak to everybody today. We had, I looked at the weather app last night, checked again this morning. It does not look like a very uplifting 48 hours coming ahead with lots of rain. So I called an audible. Looked at the June 10th deadline that I put on a number of horses. I misspoke also. 3 Point Blue Chip's not going to be ready to qualify on June the 10th. We're trying to get him in a position where he's comfortable on the track and very, very strong. This horse isn't going to race in the fairs in Ohio. This is a New Jersey sired horse that we have eligible to every major stake race on planet Earth. And he's been good. He's undefeated in training here in the race bike, going the right way at Northfield Park. He's been in 2.5, 2.6 come-halves and 58, 59 and look good, but we need to get him more comfortable and faster and stronger, and I don't want to ask for more than he's willing to give. So in reminiscing, looking at my old videos, I looked and I said, well, we have Duke Dio is going to be a little bit behind, another New Jersey colt. The other 20 will be ready to go. That's technically true. He could be ready to go, but there's no need or necessity to go out and qualify him just to say he's qualified. I know he can qualify right now, but being qualified and being ready to do some damage are two very different things. So there'll be 19 of 21 ready to go on the 10th. Now, as I said, looking at Wednesday, which is the 2nd, and Thursday the 3rd, looks like rain, a lot of rain, both days. So there was no way we were going to get a hard training session in 7 days out and 6 days out. So, or 7 days out and 8 days out. So we opted for some of them today, 6 of them, that had been looking for a faster training mile to go today. 6 horses I hadn't sat behind in a little while, and 6 horses that I wanted to let rock today. I'll get to the 6 in a second. All the other horses will train Friday. A lot of the horses like Voyage and Rose Above It that have been in 2-1 already will back up to 2-2, but I'd like to see a strong 2-2. 2-2 off a half and 104 would be good. That's what I'm looking for them on Friday. I believe I have 14 horses slated to train on Friday, another 6 on Saturday. All those horses, so 19 now, will be going on June the 10th. Now, how did the 6 do today? Very important. The first 3 looked lights out. Now, it didn't start that way. I went with, what do we got going on here? We got quite a police presence here. I don't really know what's going on here, but whatever. Went out in the track with Purple Aura to start with. Purple Aura's always had a lot of pop to her, a lot of giddy up, but she did have a few little wrinkles in her from time to time, and I thought with speed she'd get out of it. And what had happened was we'd found her feet were bothering her a bit. She was trotting okay with flip-flops on. Did we need to change? What changes can we make? And we have talked about this, but not that it's not important. It's important and it's different for every horse. What combination will it take of equipment and shoeing for Purple Aura to do her work very well? So she was touching up on her hind jack, where a number of horses, Aglarium most famously lately, of doing that. A couple other trotters, they'll get up in there once in a while. You got to protect them. You got to protect them real good, and try to mitigate that striking as best you can. You can do that with a changing of equipment or shoes or a number of things. So I went to go a fast mile with Purple Aura, and she made a break starting out of there. Little rolly. What are we going to do? Now this affiliate's, I don't think I've ever had the trotting hobbles on her in her life. Never really thought she needed them. Now, James, Johnny, I believe even Brody, when she made a break last week, it said maybe the hobbles will help her, but I just, without sitting behind her, to be fair to them, I didn't want to contradict their questioning no hobbles, because I hadn't really sat behind her that much. So today was going to be a get familiar day with Purple Aura. Rather than tinker with her, obviously the blacksmith isn't there today. We can't make shoeing changes on the fly with her. So why don't we just put the hobbles on her and see how she is? Quite a difference. I put the hobbles on her, get over the half and 102 in a mile in 2 minutes and 3/5 by herself. Now these 6 horses trained by themselves today. That's important because a couple of them are not very good trainers by themselves. One did very well and one did not. We'll get to them in a minute. Purple Aura, 2 minutes and 3/5, 4/5 off a half in 102. Very good training mile for her 2-year-old trotting filly. 4.5 weeks from competition, but 10 days from qualifying. So I was very happy with her. Next, I went out with Unbeatable Camp. How would he be? We've been working on his feet, working on his knees. A splint that was cryoed is still biting him a little bit, so it might be jammed up against some ligaments and tendons there that are still bothering him. We had it shocked today after he trained. Left hind, he kind of hides it a little bit, but he touches that ankle. Is that bothering him? Is he taking weight because of something else? A lot of questions to answer today. We had blocked his feet out yesterday. No different, which is good. We had already done his knees. Not much change, and we had already x-rayed them. Nothing wrong with his knees, so that's good. What I'm seeing up front, I'm fairly certain and confident in saying, is that left splint. We had a cryo a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it didn't hit the proper spot. Maybe it's in an area that is just still aggravating him a bit. So we'd shocked it today after he trained. Unbeatable Camp is another horse not known for his solo training prowess. You know, he's always been a horse we tried to cover up, kind of watched him, didn't want to, you know, in the last turn he'll do the moonwalk once in a while if you stretch him out. Just a tricky little bugger sometimes. Again, get over the half in 102, 2 minutes and 2/5 with him. A big mile for Unbeatable Camp, and he looked very, very good doing it. Come out in the track with Confederate Cruiser, not knowing what to think. Small little horse. I don't want to stretch him out, but I do want to use him hard. I haven't sat behind him in a while. Got over the half in 103, 1 mile in 2 minutes and 2/5. Last half 57 and 2, 57 and 3, somewhere around there. Last quarter had to be 28 and 3, 28 and 2. He was flying and he was wrapped up, finishing up. Good for him. It poses some more questions, right? He's got a brother that just won in 51 and 4, a full brother that won in 51 and 4 last week. So, interested? Confederate Cruiser was very, very good. LSL hadn't sat behind him in a while. He'd come over here. He'd been, you know, following. He's probably as far as being stretched out, maybe a week or two behind a couple of other horses. 2-2 last half in a minute with him by himself. He was good, but the vet looked at him after, thought we should Baycox him. A little tight over his back, but much better than I remember him. He wants to inject his stifles, iodine in his stifle. So tomorrow, even though he trained hard today, he'll jog tomorrow in the rain, I believe, after we iodine his stifles. Usually iodine called an internal blister for a lot of the horsemen know what I'm talking about out there. I'm going to put an internal blister in his stifle cords, jog him afterwards. He thinks EPM, get a little more weight on him. He's eating good again now. Get a little more weight on him, get those stifles strong, and who knows. But LSL, a good training mile from him. You got to believe 2:03 last half and 1:01 last quarter and 30 and a bit with him. Again, stifle cords with that guy. Right knee. Now he's running in a bit. Right knee was bothering him. We injected his knees. The vet injected his knees. Little watery, little yellowish, so needed to be done. By no means the first horse in our barn we've done work on this year, so no concerns there. Again, stifle cords with that guy. We're going to do him tomorrow. Trained good, right? Trained very good. 2:03 last half, 1:01 last quarter, 30 and a bit. And then I went with Harlan L by himself. I actually asked around with people on the track, hey, you training anything today around 2:4? You trained anything today around 2:4? No takers. So I went with Harlan by himself, and he dawdled the whole way. Rolled off stride coming to the half, but he's still touching his knees. We're going to get a little more aggressive with his shoeing this week, see if we can keep him up out of his knees. He trained in 2:4 last half, 59 the other day, 2:5 today, but he did make a break coming to the half, but caught right back trotting and did his work well after. You just need to help this guy. He is bumping at his knees and chewing on his jack, but we'll get him there. And as I said to somebody today, he'll trot 58 as a 2-year-old, I'm sure. What does that make him? A horse. There's nothing wrong with that. So Harlan L, decent training mile. He's probably ready to qualify next week too. I would like to train him a little bit Saturday with the shoeing changes we're going to make tomorrow, so I can get a little look, say, okay, is he better? Is he worse? Do I like what I see? Does he need some changes still? But we're going to get to that on Saturday. So those 6 horses were fantastic today. Everybody looks healthy, strong, heading into their own trainings. They're not going to go super fast. As I said, the ones that have been in 2-1 might go up 2-2, 2-3 on Friday, back 6 days to qualify. That'll be enough for them. The horses training Saturday will be a combination of the ones that trained hard this weekend, trained hard maybe today. They'll go back with a slower mile on Saturday. But all 19, my apologies, 19 will be going behind the gate and ready to rock on Thursday of next week. Again, don't be too concerned about 3-point blue chip. This isn't me, and again, I have to say it, I get a lot of people that are concerned that he's not good. The horse is mentally immature, but he's getting better and stronger and cockier every week. We need him to be mentally and physically mature, so that is what we're working on, and that is where we're at right now with 3-point. Very happy with him. His foot's healed up. He seems very sharp on the track and polite. He's getting better. And then Duke Dio just needs a couple more weeks. So all of our colts should be qualifying at some point in June, but for now we get 19 rolling in behind the gate. Next Thursday, a great training day today. Not much to update you on tomorrow. It's going to pour rain, and I'm going to do my best to avoid jogging anything tomorrow, but I can't avoid racing. I am going to be racing War We Welcome in the Meadows, and then come back here to race tomorrow night. We got Compass Rose DC and George tonight, GW Chrome, and then other horses racing throughout the week. But we had a good week last week. We're looking to grow and build on that this week and into next week. But for right now, today, the story of today was the big training miles this morning. Purple Aura, fantastic today with the trotting hobbles, first time ever, I believe, today. Confederate Cruiser was very, very good today. Unbeatable Camp, very, very good today. LSL was good, but with a lot going on, I think he can be much, much better moving forward. Harlan L was Harlan. I knew he'd not train good by himself, but we play the hand we're dealt today, especially. And then obviously the other colt was very good also in You Gotta Believe. So that's it. You're up to date again. Midweek video is on Tuesday today because there's rain coming the next 2 days, and I'm not going to want to update anybody on anything unless it's cloudy. Chance of sun. Take care.